Hello and welcome to another beautiful day right here. It is Friday and thank God it's Friday. This is OUTNUMBERED and of course we are reaching you live and direct from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch and I have Antonia Nwokolo right here. Good morning, Antonia.
Good morning, Ramsey.
Good morning, Dorcas Asoba.
Good morning,
Good
The,
morning,
the, the
Dorcas.
smile,
morning.
the smiles you guys are giving me this morning is worth
Thank God it's
billions.
Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Well, I think this is a beautiful way to get started with the day by bringing you to speed with the headlines. And beginning from the New Telegraph this morning, I have this story which says IMF warns federal government against diluting CBN's autonomy. U.S. lawmakers seek probe into Nigeria's $1.3 billion oil field scandal. And that's on page 29. Then now I have this headline which says federal government fortifying custodial centers against jailbreak, says Tunji Ojo. Details on page 2. And this one says the doctors battle to save Babangida wife as brother dies in auto crash. The football legend is in this issue, and we pray and wish him a quick recovery. A lot of you will remember Babangida if you are a football lover. And the auto crash, we pray they actually survive it. Okay, big story now says electricity tariff, that's the kicker. Labor demands reversal to 65 naira per kilowatt. Issues 3 days ultimatum. I take that again. Electricity tariff, that's the kicker of the story. Labor demands reversal to 65 naira per kilowatt. Okay, kilowatt per hertz. Issues 3-day ultimatum. 3, 6, and 31 pages of the New Telegraph is where you can get that. Some writers to that story accuses NEC of bias. ASU rejects wage award, insists on negotiated salary. Reps urge federal government to implement all pacts with ASU and NASU. Finally, from the New Telegraph, I beg your pardon. This one says why Nigeria may not fully benefit from domestics. Refining by NESG. Why Nigeria may not fully benefit from domestic refining by NESG. Details on page 29. That's going to be the size of the headlines from the New Telegraph this morning. Over to you, Antonia.
Thank you, Ramsey. Let's take a look at the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Reps probe controversial Lagos to Calabar Coastal Highway project. The once relevant documents sent to the National Assembly. The story continues on page 29. Moving on, alleged 2.7 billion naira fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika, daughter, son-in-law arraigned, gets 300 million naira bail. Now, the big story on the Daily Independence newspaper this morning, Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers and others. The details of that is on page 29. Moving on, SEC rolls out new rules on issuance, allotment of private core securities. And we'll have a rider to that story. Unapproved issuance of securities to attract 10 million naira penalty. And now telecoms sector contribution to GDP hits 13.5%, raked in 33 trillion naira in 2023. That's on page 6. Senate and reps disagree on new 0.5% cybersecurity levy, and that continues on page 29. And finally, from the Daily Independent newspaper this morning, alleged abuse of office. EFCC tenders documents against ex-CBN governor Emefiele. That you can find on page 7. Do well to pick a copy to get the details of those stories and other headlines that may interest you from your vendor. Over to you, Dorcas.
Thank you, Antonia. Today, since it's Friday now, there's party everywhere. I Chief Government Tom Polo is wishing the Awujale of Ijebuland a happy birthday. This is boldly on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And I have with me NLC justifies 615,000 demands. NLC justifies 615 demands. And again, House reaffirms legitimacy as Fubara backs 3 loyal lawmakers. I take that again. Rivers House reaffirms legitimacy as Fubara backs 3 loyal lawmakers. And I have some riders here. Sirika orders get 100 million bill. Sirika orders get 100 million bills. Chibok girls back with 3 kids after 10 years. That's tragic.
Well, Chibok girls, man, I saw that story and I was wondering. The Chibok girls are being released in sessions. Today you hear that this number has been released. They are coming back with
To their
kids,
families,
to their
yeah.
family with kids. I don't know what's is being put in place to get them stable psychologically before they get mixed up. We heard the other time that one of the girls refused getting mixed with the family, that she wants to go back
Wow.
to
Yes,
her
that's
husband.
just to show
They've
you
been
the
brainwashed.
yes.
You know what
apart
it
from
means
being
for you to be with a
brainwashed, the
man
traumatic experience
for
yes,
years,
it has
and
eaten deep, and it will take very serious rehabilitation to
for them to get
back to normal and to integrate to the society properly.
And finally, on the nation's newspaper, Senate House differs on cyber levy. Senate House differs on cyber levy. Over to you, Ramson.
Thank you very much, Dorcas, for those headlines. All right, more headlines coming on your way this morning from the Punch newspaper. Above the header on page 41 of the Punch, we have this story which says government under pressure to stop cybersecurity levy. It's everywhere. A lot of people are raising eyebrows, okay, as far as the cybersecurity levy is concerned. And this one says adoption. Citizens slam IGP for detaining journalists beyond 48 hours. That's bad. Page 45 is where you get that detail, and the big story from the Punch newspaper says a coastal highway probe, that's the kicker. Then the story says reps to summon Edum Umahi, AGF. And just one rider to that story, Works Ministry Defend Project. House panel gets 4 weeks to complete probe. Details on page 2. Senate okay's death penalty for drug traffickers. Page 34 is where you get that story. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, Rivers crisis, that's the kicker. Fubara, lawmakers lock horns again. The fight in Rivers State is not near over yet, but then I think that is more like a distraction for Fubara. Fubara has not gotten time to actually administer anything in Rivers State. If you ask me, that's what I feel.
Just
And
drama here, left
drama
and right,
everywhere, drama
fighting.
everywhere, different things. Well, that's the size of the headlines for this morning, and we will go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll talk to you about the big story which has to do with the death penalty for drug traffickers. We will return after this break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still outnumbered live on your screen, and this is the big story. We want to talk about a Senate okaying death penalty for drug traffickers. In one of the papers, I saw it where they said even people who actually sell these drugs and people who traffic it, every one of them will face the penalty. And of course, at the Senate, it was like some form of argument, while some senators said it should be death penalty, the likes of Ndume, Senator Ndume, then the likes of Oshomole were like, okay, this is about death, we shouldn't just go ahead to put it as a death penalty, it's about life and all of that. But then let's look at the whole scenario now, talking about drug trafficking in Nigeria. One of the things that have actually put Nigeria in a bad light at the international community is drug trafficking. You're going to some places, the way they search you at the airport as a Nigerian is different from how they search other people. Then you begin to ask questions. Some of the people who do this trafficking, if you see them, they don't even look it. Then some investigations from the past have shown that some persons are being sent to do all of this. And now there is a death penalty for it. Then you begin to look at it. Why do people even venture into this thing, knowing fully well that it is a crime? Some persons will tell you anything will kill man a man.
All die na die.
All
That's what
die.
they say.
All die na
No, you
die.
know, Ramsey, as much as our economy is not doing very well, there's unemployment in the land, poverty. People are trying to make a living with just any means. Some people have sold their consciences and they don't even mind whatever consequence. They don't mind the consequences of their actions. They just want to get money. So far, I have food on my table. I want to get something for my family. And if you actually interrogate these persons, they'll tell you, oh, I'm doing it because maybe my mother or father is sick, or I have to train my children, or I have siblings that I have to take care of. But that does not justify this act. Drug trafficking is bad, drug abuse is bad, and it should be totally condemned. And seeing the Senate coming out to okay death penalty, you know, growing up, when we watch movies and see how other Nigerians are harassed once they see you with that green passport, seeing the way they are, at some point it will feel as though, is it actually even nice to be a Nigerian? But looking at all of this and looking at what Oshomole has said, some of these people actually go into drug trafficking, without their clear eyes. Some, they just give them passes and say, go and drop this thing. Do you understand? And they may not even be aware that, but ignorance of the law is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. So as much as possible, find something to do that is legit and make your money.
Legitimate.
Yes, and the Senate saying death penalty, I think, is actually to serve as a deterrent to others who would want to venture into this, and also for you as an individual to shine your eye. Not be any kind of message when they say you know you go.
Yeah,
you
because
verify so you don't fall into this trap.
We've heard in the past, okay, when people actually fall victim of circumstances they don't know anything about. You might just be in a public vehicle and someone is carrying something that is exhibit, maybe like drugs or something, and all of you are being arrested for that same situation. Sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes they send you to go drop these things without telling you what is inside. So I think the Senate should also, apart from the trafficker, the person who is transporting or trafficking this drug, the person who sent them, or the caucus who are involved in this, because I know and
they don't operate alone.
Yes, they don't. It is obvious that these people don't operate alone. So whoever, I think, apart from the trafficker and the person who sells the drug, the person who is sending these people to traffic this drug should also be brought to book. What do you think? Are you of a different opinion?
I
Dorcas?
totally support you, Ramson. I don't tracing the maybe the dawn under the activities of that trafficking. The dawn. The dawn that is under, the Godfather. Before you can trace it down, even you'll be taken down. This business is a very let me just leave it there. But then for those who can just be a victim, of what they don't know about, I think there should be a little bit of adjustment for that. For those, because now somebody out of
like there should be categories.
Yes.
Say for instance, maybe
the trafficker,
the trafficker,
the seller,
or whoever
or the
was
sender,
sent.
the seller, the sender, and the trafficker.
So more like years of there's also a 15-year imprisonment in that story. 15-year imprisonment for those that are convicted of drug use or drug abuse. There's a 15-year imprisonment for them. So it's a situation of if you are caught using it, there's a 15-year imprisonment. So
as it is, like Tony has said, it's true, because if the punishment is being categorized, it will be better. Okay, maybe imprisonment for some persons, death for some other persons, option of fine for some other person. But then for the Senate to sit down and come up with death penalty, they may have at least scrutinized it to an extent and felt this is what it should be. But no matter what it is, I think the federal government should make the economy conducive. Drug trafficking is not an excuse. It's not supposed to be an option. Okay, but then let's look for something else to do. It is a digital world. It is a digital age. The federal government should make the environment conducive for people to do better things, because I don't even look at drug trafficking as something that is good that anyone should go into. Well, this is going to be the size of the review, and this is going to be the size of the big story this morning. We've talked about it. Now it is your time, like my colleague said. It is time for you to shine your eyes, all right? If you want to do anything, if anyone is asking you to transport anything, take anything anywhere, drop anything anywhere, you're getting into a car, check it very well, especially under the seat and the nook and crannies of the car, so you don't fall victim at any point in time. Thank you, Antonia. Thank you, Dorcas. My name is Ramsey Enoch. We'll see you again, and that's going to be on Monday. Bye-bye for now.